All right, so Raw keeps delivering time after time, banger after banger. Like I was like, look, they really just can't miss. Really, to be honest, from top to bottom, I was like, you basically was here. Well, I guess here if it stayed about the same. Anyway, calculations aside, we totally got out here Rhea Ripley talking some smack about, Dom and the feeling that she had, and hey, she gonna basically keep getting Liv and Dom appeared up at the top, basically saying, hey, I took everything from you. Dom over here trying to explain now how he gets to be a man. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of this sort of like also like lingered. I was like Rhea tried to give Dom his props of winning championship, I guess being a dad, becoming a man or whatever like that. While Dom is over here being like, I shouldn't be a man. That be calling you mommy. But now I got a girl who calling me daddy. Look, all it was basically just heat for Dom, Liv. God, they wasn't getting the word in edgewise. Basically, for Damien Priest to pretty much be in the back and behind Dom and basically beat Dom ass from the top to the bottom. I was like, Liv gets ran out by Rhea, and Dom. I was like, beating up Dom in the ring. Carlito sort of comes out, and then Priest, Carlito had a match, and it was an okay match. I was like, Carlito is very like not like how we say like how they say like fighting stiff, but he just sort of like stiff moving. There's not really the fluidity in the thing, but hey, did the job done of basically getting Priest over. I was like knocking down another domino in this Judgment Day or New Judgment Day, however you want to call it. All of them come out to try to beat on Dom. I was like, Rhea comes in there, almost ends up getting Dom in order to give him the riptide. Liv gets him out the way. And I'm really glad that they decided to do this, but it was announced later on at Berlin. Guess what? We get a mixed match, match between with Leah, who the hell is that? Liv and Dom versus Rhea and Priest. Now, I would have liked it in some way that it would have been cool. It was like if they could have did a better. If they could have did a better version of Seth and Becky versus it was Baron Corbin and it was Lacey Evans. When it was like if they won, they became basically the new champion type of thing. It'd have been cool. They could have did something like that. Obviously, there's not the men's championship in this aspect, but whatever. It is what it is. We're getting a mismatch match. I guess yeah. Anyway, so we get a little bit of like Odyssey Jones, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston. Odyssey Jones is over here about to have a match. Basically, it was a squash match just to give us a little something with Odyssey Jones. Final Testament comes out. Basically, we're gonna get that 6-man tag. But I will say that Odyssey Jones is helping this feud a little bit. Not really, but at the same, I was like it's sort of petering. Like it still needs a little something. I thought it was good that they sort of made reference of Odyssey Jones either to replace the Big E or eventually replacing Xavier Woods. And Xavier Woods ain't feeling good with this Odyssey Jones thing, but it still is just still not there. Feels like like you want to smoke and that lighter just ain't it. Like there's still one more in there, and you just like can I get it to keep it going? I don't know. Maybe that's a bad analogy. Anyway, so then after that, we get American Alpha and American Made. Also, am glad that I wish they did this more often of this tornado tag stuff. They call it tag the tornado tag. Listen, it's a tornado tag. I wish they did this a lot more in tag team matches just because I think it was good here because of I was like, because this is, I was like, no offense to Akira Tozawa, but the way that he sort of is, it makes it better when they all can just mix it all up. Then we would have seen like Akira getting killed for like 10 minutes before he made the hot tag to Otis. I was like, this is a lot better. And I think also I like the whole ending segment portion where it's like Ivy and I pretty much we knew gonna turn heel, but basically breaking the hell out of Maxxine Dupri. It was a really good look of her just like choking her out, Maxxine being bent backwards, and also because Maxxine is so tall to Ivy Niles' shortness, that it also just looks a little bit. It looks more devastating as well in that aspect. I was like, America made one, which is like I feel like this is another feud that's also like the thing is like guess what? You go off the crowd. The crowd is enjoying all these things, so you can't. It's hard to go off that compared to where it's like this is also something that's also just in the water with the motor just kind of like sputtering at the same time. I was like, no Chad Gable. I was like, over in Paris. I was like, no Wyatt 6. I was like, we did get a little bit of mention of Uncle Howdy. That's just like, hey, the mission's not over. Still got some stuff to do. Nothing too much here. Then we got the interview with Pete Dunne, which basically sort of kind of just like, hey, he doesn't like to be called Butch. And that's about kind of really it or whatever. But, you know, Pete Dunne is one of them silent types, if you get what I'm saying. Maybe. Probably. I was like, then after that, we got Damage Ctrl of Kairi Sane, Io Sky versus... I know for the longest time I've been asking for them to get a name for Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville because that's 6 names and that takes too long to be talking out. But I swear to God that the name they came up with doesn't help things. One, not a good name. And I was like, I'm somebody who really doesn't care about names because I was like, eventually we all just end up saying it and we just get used to it and it doesn't even mean anything anymore. You know, like how people have like outrage of like Walter the Gunther or Bush and Pete Dunne and all the other stuff, even though Pete Dunne mad about it. But their name is the Pure Fusion Collective, which if we gotta include the, that's 4 words to their six name. I was like to their 6 names. That's not shortening it at all, so that's not helpful. Also, what the hell is Pure Fusion Collective? I don't even understand that. To me, how can I was like, I don't know, maybe I need a number person, but collective seems like I need more than 3 people. Seems like a collective should be like 7, 10. Maybe that's for it to be like a collective. Pure Fusion, I don't also know what that also means with their group. I also think if they had more members, maybe there'd be some more Pure Fusion. I don't know. Maybe if they was all like if they was all in some form of the same background or maybe fighting or something like that, maybe there was like, maybe that's the pure of it. I don't know. Maybe if they had a mixture of people that did different things, maybe that'd be the fusion. I don't understand. I was like, look, I know I'm harping a lot, but the name is really actually something that I was like, there's nothing for me here to grab. I was like, to the point that already on commentary, Michael Cole couldn't say the name right. I think he messed it up like 2 or 3 times. And Pat McAfee just basically called him the PFC. And I'm not going to lie, I actually rather call him the PFC. I don't even have to know what that stands for. I just rather call it the PFC. Because it seems like it just rolls off better. And I can just over here just make up something else. And I'll be like, I was like, it's an acronym for something. There's a whole bunch of acronyms in this world that we always just leave up to being like, I guess that's what it is. I don't need to actually know the actual terminology for it. That's what I need from here. I don't need. I was like, everybody was talking about America Made, and I was like, I at least understand that. I'm like, I was like them. It's almost like it's a riff off of Kurt Angle's old tag team, but at the same time, I'm like they're healed, and I was like that's sort of like what get plastered when they're doing the heel thing. Not gonna lie. Anyway, they get into a match. Basically, I was like Io's about to get the win, and I was like Isla Dawn and Alba Fire break it up after Zoe Starks kicks Alba Fire in the face, which is weird because Io Sky didn't do anything. She would have beat the person that was going to kick her in the face. Therefore, you would think that they would let that go and it be done with. But instead, like if they would have broken up with Zoe Stark pinning Io Sky, understandable. Not the other way around. Didn't make any sense. But they laid waste to everybody that was involved, and we're going to get a triple threat tag team match out of it. And I'm not surprised because I was like, they're trying to get Damage Ctrl back up by also doing this Pure Fusion Collective, getting them ramped up. So it's almost like who can really win here. And I think one of them is going to get the tag team belts, which I think is going to probably be Pure Fusion, just because they haven't done anything with the Holy Trinity. Is that what they name, the Holy Trinity, Holy Cross? I was like, see, that's how much they don't need to talk about them. And they haven't really been on TV like that. That I'm thinking like they're going to just, I don't know what they're going to do. And they're doing some stuff with SmackDown. They might actually, I was like, because I know they're doing stuff with Jade and Bianca and Naomi, so hey, they might actually keep it for that reason as well. So then after that, we got Randy Orton coming out to address basically his match. He really didn't get to say too much. Basically, just like, hey, he was the champion here 20 years ago. Gunther comes out and weird promo. I was like, there was a lot of stuff that was good where like Gunther was basically talking about like, hey, you haven't been unpredictable in a long time. You're not gonna win the championship. You've done some. I was like, you're not gonna be a champion because basically the way you wrestle isn't gonna work in my era type of way. Then Randy Orton is over here. This was like talking about like him being American and having 5 kids with them. I did not know he was over here having 5 children like that. And he had a smoking hot wife with, I can't remember it was the Jack Swagger one where it was like having a hot wife that did not go well. Randy Orton did get a pop, obviously 2 different people, but it also really just didn't make any sense. And then we got the whole USSA thing with Gunther, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it here because I don't understand it. I really don't get it in this form. I was like, and it's been here with the last couple ones with Gunther, and they're doing the what chance with Gunther, and it's really odd because I'm like, he hadn't really presented himself as like necessarily as much of a USA bastard as just like a healing you people kind of thing, in the way that but hey, it happened to work. In that regard, but basically he basically like, your dad's a screw up, your granddad's a screw up, you a screw up. I was hoping that he would do like how he did with Damien Priest of talking about, oh, you some street trash. Like I wish he would have sort of been like, and that's why we should think that your children are going to be screwed up. That little extra like ooh from the crowd would have been, something like that. But that didn't happen. Drew comes out and doesn't really say too much, but then about to take his shirt off, and I'm like, what was he going to do here? But we will never find out because CM Punk decided to come in here and basically start beating Drew. Drew takes off his belt, about to give the whippings to CM Punk. CM Punk reverses that, like basically like a kid that's tired of your parents getting beat on, and just started beating the hell out of Drew. And I think that we're going to probably get a strap match or something like that against Drew. CM Punk versus Drew, because he sort of alluded to that he thinks he know how to get Drew with the basically, and he looked at the belt. That's why my idea goes for that. Then we got basically Sheamus talking, Ludwig Kaiser basically saying that this ain't over, and then Pete Dunne basically started being the butch out of Sheamus, I guess, and we're gonna get that match next week as well too. R-Truth basically told Miz that he got him an Intercontinental Championship match against Braun, and he's like, wait, don't he have a match tonight? And it was Bron Breakker. That wasn't it. It was Bronson Reed that he got the match against, and basically he lost to Bronson Reed. We all sort of figured out what happened, but after the tsunami he gave to Miz, he about to give another one, a la the Seth, like how he did Seth Rollins. R-Truth decided to step in, and basically he ends up taking a tsunami. And a tsunami. And a tsunami. And a tsunami. I think he took 5 tsunamis. I don't think it was 6. I'm pretty sure 1, 2, I think 3, there was 4. Yeah, I think he took 4. He took 4 or 5. And while I wish I was like, I thought he was going to give it to the Miz, to be honest, and whatnot, it does also make sense that he does it to R-Truth, another beloved person that everybody likes. Like, yes, everybody likes the Miz, but everybody loves R-Truth. So taking out R-Truth the way he did, does sort of fit, even if it isn't necessarily, if it's not the Miz, who also just bounced. Where it's kind of like, damn, you ain't even gonna. I know y'all having a little bit of beef, but I was like, you ain't gonna come back and say you're a friend, which might play in a little bit later, maybe. But yo, I was like, Bronson Reed. I was like, at least with the tsunami, it's now as a thing, because people are just over here being like, one more. Oh no, they were like, when he was going up, I think even to do it against the Miz, people were like, no. So it's already a move that just after beating Seth's ass with it is already over. And I was like, and I think Bronson Reed is now being able to get over with just that. Now we got to see what happens next, because it's like, who does he feud with? Because he ain't gonna get no Intercontinental Champion. He not gonna. I mean, unless him and Bronson at the Battle of the Bronze, and they just like they start taking each other out. I don't know what they could do, because Bronson Reed is sort of doing what Bron Breakker did in order to get himself basically with the Intercontinental Championship that he got. So it's sort of be like, what he gonna do, or who he needs to feud with in the meantime until like, cause I was like, look, when Seth come back, that'll be a thing. But I was like, he ain't gonna deal with Gunther. Gunther already beat his ass several times with the Intercontinental Championship. Plus, he got his own thing right now. What's gonna happen there to keep that thing going? Yes. So then we basically got the main event. We got Sami Zayn and we got Bron Breakker. And I was like, one hell of a match, great match. Also, I like this is the best one, which it probably should be. It's the third one. I was like, I sort of thought that maybe they would get Bronson Reed. See, too many damn Braun. I thought they'd get Breakker the first one, just to have Sammy sort of go into like panic mode. But I was like, but the way they told this one, where it's like it was one haluva kick like the first match, except for it was an actual like out of nowhere haluva kick, which I am more down with, because he also played into Braun's like momentum. So I was like, I was cool with that way being how he got the first one. Then after that, it was pretty much a wrap after that, because I was like, it was pretty much just like him beating the hell out of Sami Zayn. They were like, where he threw him over to the timekeeper area, and it looked crazy, which I was like, the camera that was around, it was a lot, but I liked it. I was like, in some spots it was like in a way, but I was like, I liked it for the most part. And that's why it sort of looked crazy when he threw Sammy, but then when you see the replay and you see he threw him into the chair, it was even more wild. Then after that, I was like, he got the spears on Sammy, got the pin. Then he did the dive to where Sammy's on the announcer table. He did, and I was like, and he basically about to do the spear thing again, where he run the ropes, and Sammy kicked him, but it was like a haluva kick type of kick, basically broke out of it. But we all see it sort of coming, a la Roman Reigns sort of spearing Shane on Mac, that he basically speared Sami Zayn diving out the air to get the 1, 2, 3, and I was like, there we go, boom, this is done. I was like, Sammy he did his underdog thing here, basically. But Bron Breakker basically broke that dude. And you could tell it was Sammy that he was broken the whole time. And that's what I like. I like that even though that Sammy was able to withstand and sort of fight back, you could still tell that it was like everything it took out of him, and Bronson was like being strong, even though he was dominating, and it wasn't one-sided in a way that was just like crazy, but it was also one-sided in a way where it's like, yeah, Sammy should be like that to basically say Braun is this type of monster. Now where we go from here next, I was like, that'll be something to see of like who. And I was like, I know Ilya, him been sort of going back and forth. Well, it's really been one-sided, but they've been beefing back and forth. So maybe that's the next setup. But it'd be cool to see what happened next. But anyway, that's Raw. And I was like, in the recap, like I said, it was really good. I was like, not everything, of course, was great. But I was like, hey, everything can't be perfect. But anyway, what did you thought of the show? Did you like how all the results happened? Let me know. But until then, peace. I'm out.